Hello everyone. In the last video, we have discussed how we can enable Istio service mesh into AKS cluster through AKS add-on. So you can refer that video in my channel. I will put the link in the channel description, or I will add it into the video. Today I will be showing you how we can configure a sample application and use Istio to access that application through the Istio gateway. So I already have a Istio cluster deployed. So if you doesn't have a cluster with Istio add-on enable, please refer my previous video. I have shared the bash script you can run to enable add-on and create a cluster. So now I have my cluster with Istio enable. So you can verify the Istio is enabled by going to the service mesh section in the settings of the Istio settings of the AKS cluster. So this is a new feature, new UI feature added to the AKS. So here you can see whether your cluster has Istio enabled. If it is enabled, you can see a similar UI, and you can do few configurations in here. But I'm not going to do those configurations from this portal. Before I show you the features on this portal configuration, I will show you how to do it through the command line. So I have few commands I have prepared for this demo. So let's go through this script and we'll see how we can deploy sample application and create a Istio gateway and service, a virtual service to access our application. So first, if you go through this script, you can see I will be exporting some variables. So here you can see I will export the variable to refer my resource group, cluster name, then my Azure subscription. And this is very important when you are going to use Istio, because when you're using Istio service mesh, we need to add a label so to identify Istio to use service mesh into that specific namespace. So we need to add a label into that namespace, and this is my Istio enable namespace name. So it will enable the Istio, it will add the label into this specific namespace. Then what I'll do is I will log into my subscription. So in a separate window, the login page is open. So I will authenticate my Azure subscription. Then I will select my subscription on the line 13. Okay. Then I will download get the AKS credentials, so I can work with the newly created Istio enable AKS cluster. Right? So in my case, I have demoed this one previously. I have tested it, so it showing me that I already have the keep config configurations. So I will override those configurations. If you are doing it for the first time, you are not getting this message. So keep notice on it. Then what I'll do is I will use give context to use switch to my class switch to my Kubernetes context. So if you have multiple contexts, Kubernetes contexts in your local computer, then you can use kubectx command to quickly switch into different contexts. So you can find this tool in this GitHub link. So you can go there and you can download it. Then this is a very important step we are going to do, because to work Istio to work with your application, that specific namespace should be labeled with a specific Istio enable namespace. So what I'll do is I will add a specific label to that application namespace. So in my case, it is a default namespace, but you can choose whatever the namespace you like. So for that, I will use this istio.io/revision version asm-1-19 label. So this is specifically for the Kubernetes AKS add-on label. But if you use Istio in other open source Istio version, then you will familiar with Istio injection equal enable, but AKS Istio add-on, this label is not going to work. So therefore we need to use a specific label into a namespace to work with Istio in AKS add-on. So I will add that label through the kubectl to that specific namespace. In my case, it is default. So you can see the namespace variable and the label variable. So you can see whether the namespace is already labeled. You can type kubectl get namespace, that is ns is short for namespace, and you can use show labels to see any labels are added to the default, right? In my example, you can see in the default namespace I can see only one label, that is kubernetes.io/metadata.name equals default. So you can see the Istio label is not included in the default namespace labels, so we can add it now. So I will run this command. Okay, now you can see there's a label is added. So you can verify this by running the same command. Then I will use grep to get the default namespace only. Then you can see there's an additional label is added. We call istio.io/rev equal asm-1-19. That is the Istio versions that is installed through the add-on, right? So now this namespace is ready for deploying using the Istio. So now we'll deploy our application. So you can find the sample application, booking for application in the Istio GitHub. So I will specify the namespace I'm going to install the application. Then I will copy this one and run it. Variable properly, so I have fixed it. So now if you rerun the command again, you can see the application is deploying, right? So if you type kubectl get pods. Then if we specify the namespace, that is default, right? So you can see there are a few pods are deployed, right? And you can see the different services as well. So we'll use get all. So you can see there are pods and different services like details, product page, rating and review. Some kind of applications are deployed. Okay. Now next step is to work with Istio. We need to have a gateway. We call it Istio gateway. So we can enable Istio gateway using Azure CLI command, AKS CLI command. So here there's this command line will enable the external gateway. There are two types of gateways we can use in Istio. One is external and internal. So if you want to expose your application into the public internet, you can use external gateway. So in this scenario, I will enable external gateway for you to use for this application. So I will run this command. Then it will go to the cluster and it will enable the gateway. So this gateway is deployed into there's a separate namespace in Istio. So this will be deployed to that specific namespace. So you can see that namespace get name ns. You can see there's a namespace called AKS Istio ingress. So we after the deployment ingress gateway deployment is completed, we'll take a look at this namespace. You can see a service is deployed in this namespace. Okay, we'll come back after this ingress gateway is deployed. Okay, this will take a few minutes, and after the ingress gateway is deployed, you can see in the output under the service mesh profile, there's a separate section for ingress gateways, and you can see it is enabled through and mode is external. That's what we required because we have mentioned that we need a external gateway type, right? So that's verified that the gateway is deployed, right? And you can further verify by running the kubectl command, right? So if you copy this command and list down the, if you copy the command and list down the available services in the namespace, you can see that there's external IPs allocated to that ingress Istio ingress external gateway. There's a external IPs allocated for you to use. Okay, now next step is we need to access the application in Istio. We need to have basically two services, two Istio's resources. So these two resources are gateways and virtual services, right? So you may notice in this script from line 48 to line 88, you have those two resources are defined. So you can see the API version is network.istio.io alpha v1 alpha 3. This is a custom resource definition. We call this CRDs. So it is extension of the Kubernetes API which was installed through the Istio. So then we have in those Istio CRUDs, you have the gateway kind. Then we should give a gateway name. Then we need to specify the selector. So this selector should be your external ingress gateway name. So you can see that this external service external ingress service name is equal to selector of the gateway. So this will identify this gateway should be created on this specific external service. Then under the servers, we need to specify which port we are going to access this this gateway. So here port 80 in the HTTP protocol, you can give a name. Then under the hosts, we can specify wildcard, or if you want to listen to a specific domain host name, then you can specify that under the host. For example, if your front-end application is accessing from bookstore.abc.com, then you can specify the host as bookstore.abc.com. Then this gateway is only listening to that specific host only. So this is the gateway is a resource that is interact with the clients. So when you access specific site, this is the endpoint your requests are going. Then virtual server is a kind of a route service. So here you have the virtual service, then you have the name of the virtual service. Then in the virtual service also you can specify which hosts you are going to listen. Then in this case it is wildcard. Then you have to specify which gateway you are going to listen. So that is your gateway name. So here you can see bookinfo-gateway external, that is equal to your gateway name. Then we have the HTTP section. Here you can use different matching. That means if you have different paths to your application, you can route those URL requests to this based on that path. So here you can see if there's a URL path is going to the product page or static or login or logout, then or API v1 product. These are the paths you need to match. Then there's a route defined. Then you can put the destination. Host is your service name, which service you are going to route this traffic. The traffics are coming from the mentioned path. So if you look at the services, get services, namespace default, you can see there's a specific service called product page. So you can specify that product page path, and you can see that product page is listening to the port 9080. So that's the port we are going to specify in the route destination. So if you take how the request is routed, so if you access the front-end application, it will come to the gateway. Then from the gateway, it will route to the virtual service, and virtual service, there are different HTTP path matching. Then if the specific path are matched, then it will reroute to the specific destination mentioned in the virtual service. So this is the high level view of the Istio gateways and virtual services. So now we will copy this one and deploy into the cluster. Now you can see there are two resources are created. One is gateway and one is virtual service. Now what we can do is we can get the public IP of our external ingress gateway that we provisioned before, right? So I will use this kubectl command and JSON path to get this IP, right? Then next I will get the port as well. Then I will combine those two and create a variable. So if you echo the variable, you can see the public IP and the port combination. So I will echo it, echo the URL, right? So I will echo the URL again. Then your final URL will be like this. So you have the public IP address of your external Istio gateway, then the port and the path. Right. So we'll do a curl to see that we can access the product page. Then I will only grab the title output only. Okay. So now we can see I have a result. So that means it is correctly routing into the specific service to the virtual services and gateway. So even you can use this URL to access the application as well. So I will copy this one and we'll go to the browser and paste it. Then you can see the sample application is here. Right? Okay, so that's the basic configuration for deploying a sample application into the AKS Istio add-on. So now next I will show you the GUI part. So what are the things that we can do from the Azure portal for Istio add-on. So if I switch back to the portal, then under when you select the cluster and under the settings, you can find service mesh Istio section. So here there's the overview. So you have a current version is 1.19. Now you can see there's a new version 1.20. So if you like, you can upgrade it to the newest version. Okay, so here you can see the namespaces and services. So in the services, you can see all the services within your cluster, right? Or you can filter it based on the namespace and data. It will show you the request average time and those kind of metrics for the specific service. In the namespace, you can see all the namespace in your cluster, and it will show you the which namespaces are enabled with the Istio label. So here you can see it is the default namespace, right? So you can enable this label through the portal as well. So here you can see automatic injection, right? So you can add the label to a specific namespaces. So you can enable it based on your requirement. Then if you want to configure those ingress gateways like external and internal gateways, you can do it to the portal as well. So here you can see I have already enabled it through my command line, so therefore it is already checked. But if you want to enable it, the internal gateway, you can do it from here as well. Then there are some configurations you can do to the portal. For example, if you select Istio enable namespace, then you can see traffic management option and security options are available for you. So for example, if you want to deploy, if you want to create a virtual service or distribute destination rules, so you can configure them in here. So you can select those traffic management configuration here as well. So you can create a destination rule or virtual services. I don't have any destination rules, but I have virtual service. So if you select the virtual service, you can see the already existing virtual services, and I don't have any security policies or authentications enabled, so you can't see anything at the moment. But if you select the virtual service, you can see the JSON YAML output as well as JSON output, and you can see any events that are coming from that virtual service. And next, if you want to disable Istio, it is also possible through the portal. So we can click this disable Istio option, then it will disable the Istio for you, right? So yeah, those are the basic things that you can do at the moment from the portal. I think we can do a separate video how we can get this matrix. So I will do a separate video in future how we can get these, populate these metrics like request seconds, error rates, and those kind of metrics. Yeah, that's all for this video actually. So if you are done with your testing, you can delete your cluster, or you can delete the resource group, entire resource group. Yeah, that's all for this video. So we'll see you everyone in upcoming video. So until then, have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.